This video was brought to you by Markus Bil, Elbilmek, ABRP, Stormberg, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? We're now sitting in the Volvo EX30 Twin Performance Ultra, and in this video I'm gonna have a little summary, a driving impression. Wait, maybe I should turn on the lights here. Oh, come on. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let me see. Is that better? Yeah, you can see a little bit more of the interior now. Wait, maybe I can just turn on the top. No, you know what? The interior light is not here. This is for exterior lights. Okay, whatever. Just have it like this. Okay, let's hammer it. It has no fake engine sound, unlike the #1, #3 Brabus. But it is slightly faster than #3 Brabus for some reason. I'm not sure why, but okay. So you see, we have to enable the cruise control with the stock here, just like a Tesla. And you don't. This is also how you disable the cruise control. But then when you pull this stock like this, you will then set it to that current speed you have. So if you set a speed with this side and then you disengage cruise control here, if you want to resume, you have to then press this button here. And that works for the most time until you start misclicking, because if you click not too much to the right, if you click too far to the left on this, you will then press without nothing happening, which is a bit weird. But if you press further where it's supposed to be, then it works. So this is just something you have to learn by muscle memory, and then you shouldn't be too much annoyed. And the car, you see, has only one screen. It has the very minimalistic, I would call it Tesla design, because Tesla started with it first, and then many car manufacturers, they follow the same path. And you have to do a lot of stuff in the screen here. For example, if you want to adjust side mirrors, you click here and then you click here, and then you can adjust the side mirrors with the button on the steering wheel. And then if you want to open the glove box, you can either click there or you can click here, and then you find the glove box button there. So yeah, and also the speedometer is on top of the screen, along with some auto steer information here with the lane information, gear selector, speed, whatever, power output region, range, all that stuff is displayed here. In a Tesla, this would be on this side, and there's no instrument cluster here. Here we just have the China is watching you thingy. And yeah, so does it work well? Yes, actually it works well. I have claimed this for the longest time, that a single screen like this is actually better than 2 screens. Why? Because you have to move your eyes between there, and then you have to look down here, and then you have to look here. So you look here for some speed stuff, you look over here for some navigation stuff or HVAC setting or whatever you want to do. But then you have to move your eyes more. But if you have it in a single screen, at least you can just move your eyes between the road and then here, and then you just find whatever you want here. And the same applies for Tesla. In the beginning, I was against that design. I was like, no, I want an instrument cluster because that's how I was used to. But after I gotten used to the Model 3, right, Model Y, it was actually better. Yeah, and then also here it's better. I'm not saying this because I'm a Tesla fanboy. You should try this yourself. You'll realize that this is no problem because this speed here is quite close to the line of vision anyway. And also many cars like, was it Leaf or some Toyota? They already have the speedometer here, right? So it's not that much different. But of course, I still agree that head-up display is better because then you have the most critical information projected on the windscreen. But as long as you want to cut cost, then this is actually a good solution. It's not really a downgrade. It's just, yeah. But okay, let me see. I'm going to show something here. If I go here and then I go to settings and then go to driving and then scroll, you see how many clicks I have to go through? Performance overdrive. When you enable performance overdrive, the car becomes a little bit snappier. When I floor it now, it is more instant, but still not super snappy like a BMW or a Tesla or a Porsche. But if you have this performance overdrive off, there will be this artificial delay for when you press it until it comes. But it's maybe just a matter of half a second or a couple of 100 milliseconds. But then it says that it will then performance over. So I'm not sure what's up with this. Do you force all-wheel drive all the time if you have this on versus if you have it off? It will then sleep under the motors. I'm not sure how that works because I never read the manual. But yeah, I mean, it's a quick car, but I need to point out something. I don't know if you guys hear it. The car is quite loud, and I measure it. It's roughly as loud as a 10-year-old Tesla or some of the not so premium Chinese cars like a Maxus. It was a Maxus ET90, the pickup truck, you know. So when you hammer it on the motorway, especially in Norway or in the Nordic countries where you have rough asphalt, then the car becomes loud. So, but I have some performance tires now. This is the one that came with the press car, 20-inch. So maybe not the quietest tire out there. Yeah. If noise is a problem for you, then maybe you should either consider another car or try to get some quieter tires. Well, okay, so what should I say about the car? Range is also not the best. The car is a bit thirsty for my taste. I mean, it's not that big, but it's a bit boxy, and it's a Volvo after all. So not the best efficiency, not on par with Tesla or the Korean cars. So which means that yeah, range is not the strongest point here. Charging speed, however, is fairly good. It can take 150 kilowatt, 153 or something, quite flat until 35%, and then it throttles slightly. You still get around 140 something kilowatt for a little while, but then past 50% you see a significant drop in charging speed. So it's similar to Tesla. Yeah, many other car manufacturers, they tend to go flat, maybe not that fast, but then flatter. So, but I mean, it's still faster than the Mercedes, right? EQA, EQB, they only charge at around 100 kilowatt nowadays. So, yeah, for 1,000 kilometer challenge, it still managed to get a decent time. It was 11 hours. And then, what else is it? Yeah, acceleration also quite fast. But there's one thing you have to know is that the acceleration is good only as long as the battery is high. So as soon as you drop below maybe 60, well, this is the problem. practical problem. I click here to recall the cruise control, and then I usually just let off the pedal, but then it doesn't register, so I have to click there and there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so if the battery drops below 50%, it becomes noticeably slower than when it was at 90% or 80% at least. So it has this gradual drop, whereas most other cars I test nowadays, they have a more like a flatter or more consistent acceleration throughout the line until 10%. Most of the cars, they go slow at 10%, maybe except for BMW and Porsche and the Model 3 LFP battery. So yeah, the car is blistering fast for most of the time. But also when you go into the charging screen here, which is one click, no wait, let me see, one click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks. Here you can set charge limit. So daily drive is recommended to set it to 90%. So then you have 90%, yeah, and reduced acceleration. So the advertised acceleration time, you might not be able to achieve it most of the time. Yeah, just bear that in mind, you know. So it's not like a performance car like a BMW M50. It's more like it is a nice compact car, a compact all-wheel drive city car with okay range that also has some performance capabilities. So for example, also the seats, they are nice and comfy, but they are not the kind of sport bucket seat which sits quite well in the curves. So yeah, we can try to toss the car around curves and see how it goes. I'm not sure if I should do any crazy maneuvers on the Autobahn over here, and people are gonna complain, but we're gonna do it anyway, yeah, because we need to provoke people. So I'm gonna try to make a quick lane change now. Well, oh, you see, I mean, yeah, it does that little wag. It's not tight and firm. If you want that firmness, tightness, sportiness, you need to go for the well, if you want to be in the Geely, you can go for the Smart #3. It has noticeably firmer ride, but to the point where I feel like it's a bit uncomfortable, especially over some of the bumps. Here though, the car floats better over the bumps, but you then get that wag that you get in this SUV crossover. So it's always a trade-off, but overall I think the comfort here is good, and I'm actually quite blown away by how well it drives for, well, I was going to say a poor man's Volvo, but you know, this car still cost 510,000 NOK. I'm not sure in other countries how much that is. You can't just directly translate it to euros, but yeah, the thing is that for that price you can get a Tesla Model 3 long range Highland. Well, it costs 520k then, the Highland, but the Highland also is quite well equipped, and the Highland has matrix light that this car doesn't have. And Highland has seat ventilation, but Highland doesn't have stocks. Okay, let's end the discussion there between Tesla versus something else, but I'm just saying that there are other alternatives than this Volvo. But I think many people who want to buy this Volvo, they don't want this performance. They want the rear-wheel drive. But I've tested this first because in Norway we want all-wheel drive. So Norway is a quite important market, and also, yeah, my viewers, around 10-15% they are Norwegians. But the car overall is very good. Like, if I were to choose between this or the Brabus, okay, with Brabus I get the fake engine sound. Here there's no fake engine sound, unfortunately, but here the navigation is Google based. It works wonderfully well compared to the Brabus, which tend to use some kind of it resembles some of the Chinese software, or I don't know, it doesn't resemble Mercedes. It's not MBUX they use there, unfortunately. So yeah, and then the Brabus also has some bugs. Well, I'm not actually not, I mean, smart, sorry. I tested on the Brabus version, but smart. So I would go for the Volvo. And also I like the open design. Okay, it's quite minimalistic. There's some plastic fantastic here and there. Yeah, true. But when I'm driving this Volvo, I feel like it has some some European or Nordic DNA in it. It feels like a Volvo slash Polestar slash European car, German car, whatever. It resembles that. Whereas the Smart feel like it is a bit, feels a bit Chinese. And also when we talk about Smart slash what is it again, Seeker, they're both from they're all from Geely. I don't like the region, how it works with Smart, because it's just, I don't know to explain how it is, but it has this gradual increase of region, whereas here it works more like most other cars, which is that when we are now like in the manual driving mode, well actually let's go this side a second. When you accelerate as expected, but when you let off the pedal, you then regen, and okay, it has this little increase, but it comes relatively fast, like most cars, like a Tesla, like a Mercedes or BMW, whatever. But in the Smart and also in the Seeker, there was a quite significant delay before more and more regen was applied. Okay, what it means practically was that those other cars, it was quite hard to get a nice and smooth ride. In the Volvo, it's still not perfect, okay, but it is a lot better to have a nice ride, a smooth ride. But I still feel like, I'm not sure, sometimes the car feels a bit, maybe a bit over nervous, over reactive when I do things, but let me just try to get a feel of it again. Maybe I'm just talking crap right now, but see if I accelerate. Now maybe it's not that bad. Okay, it's not that bad. So yeah, so that's good. That's good. But you know, like I said, it has that Nordic or whatever European car feel over it. The way it rides, the way it handles, and okay, I mentioned that it wags a bit, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's not like a complete bolt, at least. So that's good. You see, you can still toss the car around roundabouts, and it still goes very well. Not that much body roll, but some, of course. And seats are feeling good. Steering wheel has this, I'm not sure what you call it. It's like a Eclipse, yeah, not 100% round, but it has stalks, so I can actually do the blinking action correctly, like we should do it in Norway. Remember that I'm driving in Norway. What applies to other countries are more or less irrelevant in this setting. So yeah, I mean, overall though, the car is quite good, but there are some minuses here and there, quirks. One thing I should point out is that when you want to change temperature, most cars with big screens, if it's a Tesla or a NIO or Hongqi or Xpeng, there will be direct buttons to increase or decrease the temperature. Or even in an Audi, you can then do some swipe actions. Here you cannot click and swipe to take, you have to click here, and then you get this little pop-up, and then you can change temperature. But then if you click slightly further to the right, you come to a different menu which brings up other HVAC settings. Why don't they just put all that shit in the same screen, like Tesla, for example? Because then you can free up some space at the bottom. I understand, okay, there is limited space in the bottom, and if you squeeze too much in there, it becomes hard to press them. So at least here, it's not, you don't have to super pinpoint before you press something. Yeah, so that's good, but I just don't like the fact that you cannot directly adjust temperature up and down, because that's something I do somewhat common in most cars. So yeah, and also I also don't like that that noise, by the way. I don't know if you guys hear it. I think you should be able to hear it. It comes and goes. I heard it before. I'm not sure what the heck it is, but okay. But also, if you want to see the trip meter, there is no card here like you have in a Tesla. Why do I keep mentioning the Tesla? Because Tesla are one of the few cars that use a big screen, but the Tesla screen is bigger. So that means bigger screen means that you can put more stuff in there without making everything too small, too cramped. But in Tesla, you have those cards, you can see trip meter. If you want to see trip meter, you have to click once, twice, and 3 times. Then you see the trip info. I think it was pretty cool. Okay, you see some graphs and shit here. But if you then go here to look at some navigation stuff, and you'll be like, okay, and then you go back to trip meter, then you have to click back there again. And there's no way to press and hold to customize like you can in, at least in the MEB cars, you can do that, or many cars you can customize what you want to see here. Here is more fixed. You have the phone info here, you have the radio or media here, and if you click on home again, you will see that the map becomes slightly larger. Okay, that's good, great, okay, great, until you click on the car here, because you have to click on the car all the time if you want to do something. Go in the quick control, go in the settings, go in car status. But then if you click back on home, you see that the cards here are back, and then you have to click again to maximize it. It should at least remember it. So I feel like the software here has some improvement potential. And I heard that there will be a new version coming out, which will fix some of the bugs also. For example, there is one charging bug that limits it to 6 amp. So yeah, that is a bit annoying, but just have to know that. But I mean, overall, still, if I have to choose between this user interface versus something else, then this is still pretty good. Especially navigation is wonderful. If I click search here, I can just type, for example, Tesla, and then I can Tesla supercharger, and then it comes up like this, just like you know in Polestar also, and Volvo, other Volvos. And then if I want to go to Rudshøgda, I click here, I click on search in this area, it then shows me the Tesla supercharger, or if it would be Tesla, whatever other things, right, about that keyword. And then I can just click here, and then we have lots of information. It says 150 kilowatt, that's Brumunddal, yes, and then start, and then we see the distance there, the time of arrival, and how many percent we will arrive with. However, that percent arrival is a bit, well, optimistic, or it depends, because it seems like it assumes that you'll be driving at the speed limit. It doesn't adapt to your driving style, or if you have roof rack or whatever, even trailer. So yeah, there's a small minus, but at least there's something there, and as long as you don't hammer it like I do, then the estimation there will be quite good. But one thing I don't like is, just like Polestar, is that if you navigate far and you cannot make it there in a single charge, it will automatically add charging stops for you. You cannot opt to delete it on the planning stage. You have to press OK, and then you can delete the charging stop manually. But what I tend to do is that while I'm charging, I then navigate to a place beforehand, right? Because that's when I'm sitting there, not driving. But then you don't have enough juice while you're charging, and then it adds charging stop for you. Okay, don't navigate while you're charging then. Okay, my bad, it's user error. Yeah, it's user error. Okay, but then stop here. Okay, so yeah, and then maybe, okay, over here I don't have any good speed bump test. Maybe I should find the Birge and Haug speed bumps. Okay, let me see. I might change my mind. This is why I drive here at night, because then I don't interfere with normal traffic, you know. But yeah, I mean, very impressive space here, given that this car is quite compact. Why is a woman walking by herself almost 3 at night? Isn't she worried? No, this is Jessheim. It's really safe here compared to Oslo, and it's nice and chill. I love Jessheim actually. Every time I go downtown Oslo, it's just too much fuss, man. People, garbage. Okay, garbage you find everywhere, but more garbage over there. I'm talking about actual litter, not people as garbage. But okay, back to the car. Yeah, so we are just driving around town now. I'm just, there's a place, cobblestone. There's a place we can go. Okay. But you see, it is quite nimble. Yeah, we have speed bumps also. It feels a bit bouncy sometimes on motorway. It has its boing, but I mean, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as some of the Chinese car I tried, but it feels more like a European car, the way that it bounces over. But some people might complain that it bounces a bit. I was like, yeah, I don't think it's that bad. But okay, here we have some brostein. Kappsopp. Jeg har hatt mus. Sorry. It is now springtime, but okay, faster. Okay. It could handle that fairly well. Yeah, okay, let's over here. Do some maneuvers. Auto parking here is not the best. And I have now gained more experience with the various auto parking features. Toyota was wonderful how good it was. And this car is below average. It failed on some of the stuff. It lacks some of the features that the other cars have. So yeah, just bear that in mind, but maybe auto parking is not that important for you. So at least the important things like practical stuff, we have a little front, we have okay space in the back, given that this is a compact car. It goes like a rocket. It charges relatively fast. It's not super thirsty. I haven't really tried when it's supposed to be nice and warm outside even. So in a way, it actually works quite well. And at least after I retried the banana box test, I managed to fit 20 boxes in here. So that's good. That's better than Model 3. Initially, it matches Model 3, but I was just not doing it correctly, yeah, when it comes to the everything. But at least now we know that, okay, so it has okay space and so on. But there are other alternatives. The Korean cars, for example, Niro, Kona, maybe even the EV6 rear-wheel drive, or yeah, we have Model 3, Model Y, even Model Y rear-wheel drive, even, it depends if you want a rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Nowadays, there are lots of other cars. The competition is hard, but at least what I can say is that this car, I mean, it doesn't disappoint. It's a good car. I like it. It's a very good car. It's not perfect. It has its bugs. It has its shortcomings when in the user interface, but it doesn't annoy me too much. Yeah, I mean, it still annoys me, some of the stuff here, but not too much. I can live with it. And the one thing, it has the keep climate on. When you leave the car, especially during winter, you go to timers here and you can have the parking. It's called parking comfort. There is no dog mode or Wi-Fi doggy mode here or whatever, but you can at least keep the climate on until the battery is down to 20%. I was like, wow. Most cars, if there is some kind of keep climate on, like some of the MB cars or Audi, it will keep it running for half an hour to 1 hour, which is actually for the most time sufficient if you just want to go to the grocery store or something. But here you can even have it like a camp mode. So yeah, why not? I mean, nowadays batteries are big and they can run HVAC for well over 24 hours. More like what I've tested, more like 48 to 72 hours. So there's really no big deal to keep the HVAC running for more than half an hour. So yeah, I mean, the car still works great, has lots of features, and yeah, given the size, given what it is, I think it's good. I just feel like maybe, okay, they cut some cost on the minimalistic design, the plastic, fantastic, and so on. And yeah, ergonomically, it's not as good as if you have a car that has physical buttons for adjusting stuff or whatever, but at least they kept the stocks. They didn't go full on Tesla. So it's still good. Yeah, I'm just trying to give you guys an impression and trying to give you my opinion about things. And yeah, so I should end it, but I just have to say that the car does not disappoint. Absolutely not. Wait, did they wash the road here? To be careful in case there is some oil spill. Oh, this is water. Wasser. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it, man. If you consider this car, I say go for it. It's nice. Yeah. If you don't like it, if you haven't considered this car, then you're not gonna lose out on too much, because the other cars in the market, they're also equally good. There's, okay, one thing I need to highlight is that this Volvo doesn't do anything that is outstanding. It doesn't have something like, oh yeah, this is freaking awesome. No, it's just, I mean, it does everything well, like it should, like most cars should do. So that's how it is. Yeah, I'm not sure how to point this out, but it is oh, it is fun to drive. Yeah. So let me see now. Over here we have a slightly higher speed limit than the city, so we can go a little bit faster. So I'm going to show you now. So typically what it looks like when you're just driving around alone. Of course, not with family. I wouldn't drive like this if I had wifey and Isabel with me. But it handles well. It goes fast. It doesn't limit the power when you try to toss it around corners. So at least this Performance Twin Ultra delivers. Yeah, it always delivers the package, just like me. That's why I have 2 kids soon. Shit. Okay, anyway, I think that's gonna be it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.